Welcome to Scones, Poetry and Tea. I am Careen, Latoya. So, what are we doing here? We're gonna enjoy a cuppa. It sounded so weird saying cuppa. I don't say cuppa. I don't say cup of tea. I really don't. I just have tea. I do appreciate you. I really, really do. You've joined me on a very beautiful day, the birthday of this book called Free. 5 years old. Can we get a what? Can we just get a huge round of applause for? Yeah, Free. I think you can figure it out. Published this book in 2015, 5 years ago. Yay! And before I do get into Scone Poetry and Tea, Scones Poetry, before I do get into Scones Poetry and Tea, let me actually explain where this whole thing came from and why. And what it has to do with this book, or any book, as a matter of fact. So, Instagram has been a very beautiful place lately. Shout out to Instagram. Even though sometimes Instagram's like, nope, not today, you're not allowed to do anything. But it's cool. We're not mad at you. We're not mad at you at all. I'm not. I connected with a gentleman in Vegas, the Coven. Such a dope soul. So calming. He asked me if I had ever considered doing audiobooks. I'm not a big audiobook fan. I've never gotten into an audiobook. Maybe I should try it, but I've never gotten into one. And I said no. Then another beautiful soul from America asked me the same question. Not the same time, like months later, I would say. Sheen from Philly. Shout out to you. And I said no. But Sheen is like, I would really like to hear Free, because I know I'm not doing some of these pieces justice. I still said no. So the Coven planted the seed. Sheen watered the seed. Here we are now. So it's not so much an audiobook. It's not so much a podcast. What would you call this? If someone can tell me what to call this, I'd appreciate you even more. But this whole shenanigans happened because I realized that it was going to be the 5th birthday today. Because for a while I was writing, well, instead of writing 2020 at the start of like any sessions I was doing with some of my friends, I realized that I was thinking of 2015. Anytime I went to write the date, I was thinking 2015. I was like, why am I thinking 2015? So it was then that I was like, I went through Facebook and everything, like what happened? This book was released in 2015, so I had to check. It's like, it makes sense. It makes so much sense. So as a result, I said, all right, and cool, I can think something through. I'll probably do an audiobook or a podcast for today. I'll release it today. I already have a podcast going. It's called Love in Black. I'm going to put the details for that below. But yeah, I was checking around, like, can I host 2 on the same platform and all of that. Audiobooks, I still need time to digest all of the information. I don't think it's that difficult, but I need to actually sit down and digest all of that. I don't know if you're hearing what's going on in the outside world right now, but it's raining. It's a nice sound. So that's where all of this came from. And, hold on. Another shout out to Sheen, because Sheen is the one that gave me the name. There's no real reason. Well, I haven't asked him why Scones, Poetry and Tea, but it sounded good when he said it. there's no real reason, like nothing big and deep around this. I just like the idea. I was like, but I could have, yeah. And she said it. You can have scone and you can be drinking tea, and so that's really where this came from. Now, let's get into it. Ta-da! I say, even though I showed it before. I published this book as a trial and error. And I say trial and error because I was testing it out. My Uncle Paris, when I was 11, said to me that I should publish a book. He said, "My niece, you ever publish a book, you know?" If you can't tell, I'm Jamaican. So, just a quick backstory, because I'm going to go into this story like later episodes down the line. But I wrote my first piece. Like, I remember writing my first piece, one of my first pieces, at the age of, I'm going to go with 10. I think I'm going to stop saying 9 and I'm going to start going with 10. It could have been 9. I really don't remember. But I wrote this piece for Black History Month. I was going to school in Jamaica. I lived in Jamaica. I grew up in Jamaica. And then Mum entered me into a competition. She saw a competition online, a poetry competition, and I entered this competition. I ended up going to America. And yeah, so now we're realizing that this kid's got talent. My uncle said it to me, and I was thinking about it, but you're 11, you don't know what's what. Alright, calm. I could publish a book, but I don't know how to. Like, I love books. I remember being upset when I stopped getting books for my birthday. That's how crazy it is. Like, I used to get a book for my birthday up until I think I was probably like 12, 13. I don't remember. It may have been later, but I do remember, like, I think I got to my 16th. I was asked, "What do you want for your birthday?" I didn't go for books. I felt I probably grew up a bit at that point, but I was upset. Like, how can you not give me books? Anyway, so I'm reading. I love books and all of this jazz, but I didn't know how to go about publishing. So I got to 19, 20, I was in uni, and I put together a manuscript. As we do. We just have a manuscript. And it wasn't even like a proper manuscript, because I just didn't know. I didn't know. Life moves on. Get to 25. Well, 24. I went to a fashion show with a friend, Kim Whittle, shout out to you, and I bought a book, read the book, loved the book. It was from a minority publishing house. I was like, oh, I could check them out. One of my mum's friends, whom she calls her brother, he had been saying to her from time that I should look into like lulu.com. And and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it by myself, because things happened. Gonna do it by myself. Didn't use Lulu, I used Create Space instead. So between March, I think, around March and May, I had already had my pieces together. I put everything together. I started like staying up really, really late at night just to try and wrap my head around things, like putting things together and like just getting it all on the website, etc., for publishing and printing. And then I realized I can get the books by this day, so I can do the launch on this day. I started having conversations with my friend Chioma. I contacted Malcolm from the Young Mayors Project in Lewisham. A whole everything in a very short space of time. I really appreciate everyone that's helped me along on my journey, because I wouldn't be here talking to you about this book if it wasn't for the very many people who have planted the seed, or like helped to water the seed, or poured into me, or just helped in any way, shape or form, like giving me nutrients and not even realizing that they're giving me nutrients. I appreciate each and every one of you. Honestly do. Now, to get into the book, I say as I take this. Okay. So I divided the book into 4 sections. We've got childhood, we've got pain, we've got love or lust, and we've got rooted. For me, these 4 categories, these 4 sections, represent a phase in our life. Some of these phases we're still in. We are still in pain throughout time. We still go through trying to figure out what love is or lust is. Some people don't have to worry about what love is anymore because they found their true love and all of these beautiful things. And then to be rooted is to come back into yourself with knowing your purpose, knowing your identity, just the what's, the whys. All of these things are solidified. I wouldn't say completely understood, because there are times we still go through things and we get shaken and we step out of ourselves before we have to come back in. These are all different phases. I just really wanted to have them all separate. So the first piece that I'm going to go through is I'm a child again. And for that reason, the first thing I want to say is, pick me, with my hands waving around in the air and legs lifted from the ground, trying to prevent gravity from keeping me down, for I want to be seen, to be chosen. I'm a child again, and I'm not able to see the thick, bleak realities of life's perfectly dressed, upright stature, which wraps unwanted presents in posh, expensive boxes. I'm a child again, running into the arms of my parents who have only been gone for only a second, but I'm more than happy to see them because life without them is still. But I want it to keep moving because they make me feel safe and secure. I'm a child again. No worries, no problems, no worries about nothing, no problems about nothing. These nothings are not the icky little things called kissy from the pretty boy that was looking at me in the playground. These nothings are bills to be paid, hearts to be saved, rent to be paid, money to be saved. These nothings are heartbreak hotels, job applications, achievements to be achieved, and everything else that comes with being me, the grown-up. The sunken feeling of being older hits with everything spinning, flying around in the wind farm, being powered by solar panels, keeping me sane, yet confused. Trying to juggle fun and work, yet business and pleasure cannot be mixed. Like food on a plate, they will be contaminated. So this is why I'm a child again. With an email being sent to my former self with no real heading to tell the child in me to have fun, enjoy it whilst it lasts, make the most of it, for with the changing of season, life's clock ticks, with a crow of a cockerel waking me in this future present state. I like that piece. I really do. I wrote this piece, I believe I wrote this piece before even thinking about writing this book. And I remember performing this piece at Box Park in Shoreditch, Boxed In. But it's just that piece which just makes me like really get to that point where I'm just like, yo, I wish I was a kid, man. I really wish I was a child again. Like, I had nothing to worry about. And the fact that I've said, like, no worries about nothing, no problems about nothing, I know I am very aware of the double negatives that I've used, and I did that on purpose because even though actually my father would ensure that I didn't use double negatives when I was growing up, like, you can't use double negatives. So I grew up hearing that quite a lot. No, nothing. But it's that child in me. I wanted that child in me to have that little moment of saying, no, nothing, no, nothing. Like, no worries about nothing, no problem about nothing. Like, it should be anything. I know this, but I wanted it to feel free. I wanted that child in me to feel free. Like, just because there is nothing for me to worry about as a child. All you have to worry about is going to school and coming home, doing your homework, and go back to school the next day as well. So, yeah. And it was difficult when I just started working. So I had to be juggling work and performing. How it was crazy because I'd be out in the nights, coming home really late, going to work the next morning, being tired. Some of the kids that I was working with, I would look at them and just like, today in the day, don't bother with me. Don't. No, not today. So I made sure that those students were aware. But I had to learn really quickly. It's like getting a child to grow up really quickly. That's really what happened with me. Trying to balance the two, trying to juggle the two. And now I'm able to do it. I'm able to now probably juggle a little bit more than I should. But the next piece is called Hi. I love you more than anyone could ever imagine, because I know you will be my shining star. Normally, I'd be in the process of penning away my thought-filled pains, but your feet walked across my pages, changing the words which would have been here. I'm looking forward to your very first steps, along with your first words, hoping it would be Mama, just to make Daddy jealous. I want you to look into your bright eyes as you giggle to make my heart melt, reminding me of love in the purest of ways. I patiently await your arrival, to fill many rooms with warmth as you grip our fingers and giggle with your toothless gums. I patiently await your formation in my womb, the 9 months of carrying you as you kick at the sound of your father's voice. You will be my love until I die, as I nurture you into the child you're meant to be, and not one to be called a disappointment. Hi. I know that we are still yet to meet, but I just want you to know that I already love you. That made me feel so warm inside. I'm still waiting for this child to come through, guys. I'm still I'm still not a mother. I was about to say motherless. No, you have a mother. So, where did that piece come from? I watched a video of Bassie Ikpe, her performance, a video of a performance she did for Deaf Poetry Jam. And I believe I watched this between 2009 and 2013. Did you just hear that? I don't know if the thunder was agreeing with me or it's telling me that I'm lying. This is fun. Yeah, I believe I wrote that piece between 2009 and 2013 because that was during my whole uni years, and I was watching a lot of Deaf Poetry Jam videos, like so many of them. I still go back and watch them up to this day. But she did a piece, Bassie Ikpe did a piece to her unborn child, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's really nice. So I ended up writing a piece to my unborn child because I thought, can I write a piece like that, for one? And two, what would it be like to write that type of poem? So I attempted it, and this is what happened, and I really like it. It makes me feel so warm inside. Okay. So we're gonna take a little turn. This is the annoyance about scones. Cool. Is it just me, or does it actually take a while for you to like properly eat? Or is it literally just me? Am I just a weirdo? Alright, cool. This piece is called Messages from Within. It may be difficult for some of you. If you've ever lost a child through miscarriage or abortion, do you like, if it's a thing of you've had an abortion and you've regretted that abortion, or whichever, you're trying to have a child and you're finding it difficult, it may be triggering. So this is just a heads up, because this one is a darker one. I'll talk about this piece first actually before I do go into it. So I watched a video. I watch a lot of poetry videos when I'm ready, a lot of spoken word videos, because it's really nice for me to see how other people present themselves through their performances, and how they present their pieces. So one piece that I came across, I can't remember the title of this piece, but I do remember the first part of it, and it said, if you heard that thunder crack, that's not what it said. It said, it rained last night, and I know you saw my face in the rain. It was two queens that performed that piece. They did a duet. It was so powerful and so moving. It was the mother speaking to the mother and the fetus having a conversation, and that fetus being terminated. I don't like the sound of that fetus being terminated. Mum had gone through an abortion, so the pregnancy was terminated. Sorry, I knew something sounded wrong. So the pregnancy was terminated, so now the fetus is like, I know you saw my face in the rain, like, how dare you. So I saw that video, and it really made me start thinking about abortions, miscarriages, why some people even have abortions. Like, some people, some women, I say people as though men can actually have kids as well, but some do have a say in whether or not the child lives. But some women may have wanted to have a child, and then the man says no, he doesn't want it. He makes her feel bad about wanting to keep this child, and then she starts inflicting pain on herself. So that's where this particular piece came from, and this is more of a conversation between is where the child is speaking out, the fetus is speaking out to the mother. And I remember seeing a pregnant woman on the train, and with that I was like, if fetuses could talk, what would they say? And my brain went down a dark alley. It really went down a dark alley. But as I said, there were influences as well from that video that I had seen. I think this is going to finish before I finish this. Alright. I'm scared. Actually, I'm petrified. I don't know what to expect when I arrive, and I know you aren't ready to face the truth. I've become so accustomed here. I really don't want to leave, for the safety is comforting. I hear what you say about me. I've felt the jabs thrown at me. I know you don't want me around. You have spoken about alleviating the pain. And I know you have been to consultations, as you don't know how we will survive. At first, I questioned why you wanted to destroy me. Now I understand, and all I can do is wish that I stay here forever. I want life to be easier. I've tasted the alcohol that was in the cabinet. I hated it at first, but now I appreciate it. The taste is horrendous, but I wish it did the job. It's still early days. So why don't you do what we know is best? Why can't you go ahead with it? I know you don't care about me anyway. You wouldn't be a monster. I would forgive you for your actions. I would still love you, especially for setting me free. I know you are scared, but I am the one who is hated. I am the one who is on the hit list to be killed. I was excited, awakened from my sleep, knowing I was found to be developed, so I started making plans for us. Then the arguments began, all about me. He didn't want me, so you turned on me, punching me continuously. My small frame was able to find a hiding place. I didn't want to be used as a stress ball. But as I continued to grow, it got more difficult to hide. Why did you allow them to stitch hatred into your mind? I wanted to be your best friend, your newfound first love. If you are doing this to me now, what's it going to be like when I enter into your world? How will you treat me then? Mom, can you be honest with me, please? Will there ever be a day where our hearts will ever connect? Or will you still allow them to write my future? So, as I said, that one did take a turn. But I promise you, I'm going to change it. I'm going to switch back into. I'm not going to leave it on that piece. I'm going to switch back into a happy piece. Because to leave that there on you, that would be too much. That would be too much. And I know that for some, it may be heavier for some individuals than it is for others. So, yeah. I'm going to end with this piece called Your Laughter. Your laughter echoes in the hollow of my mind, making bonds with each brain cell responsible for my memory. To remind me it's okay to take at least 10 minutes to smile, even if smiling seems nonsensical and I look foolish as I laugh with you. Your laughter dances on the walls in the staff room, calling for my attention to prove you are still a child who needs to express themselves in ways unknown to adults who have let go of childhood in order to grow up. Your laughter forces me to look up as I tell you to grow up, forcing you to change your behavior in an instant, as inappropriate laughter is unacceptable in the classroom, for the classroom is a place for robotic learning. Your laughter tells me that all is well, and there is no need to fret, as life will sort itself out, as worry will lead to stress, and stress is destructive, so your laughter is the perfect medicine for me. Your laughter holds an innocence which should not be stolen. It should not be forced away or pushed aside, for once your innocence goes, there will be no turning back. And it means you will be an adult before your time. Your laughter echoes in the hollow of my mind. Your laughter holds an innocence which should not be stolen. Your laughter forces me to look up as I tell you to grow up. Your laughter dances on the walls of the staff room, Your laughter tells me that all is well. So that's the final piece I'm reading for you today. And that piece I wrote in September 2014. I can't remember the exact date. Memory is telling me it was the 23rd of September. I don't always trust my memory. So we're going to go with that, but we're not taking a word for it. But it's definitely written in September of 2014. And it's just one of those moments where I was in the staff room at lunch. The students were outside. They were playing. So where the staff room was, where it faced out to the playground. So all of them were running around, they're screaming, they're having fun. Like, some of them are playing football. For you guys in America, that's soccer over here. That's what you call soccer. Here in the UK and very many other countries, we say football. So yeah, they were out there playing football. That some of the boys and a couple of the girls were playing football. Then you just have kids just running around, like in and out of the building as well, which they shouldn't be doing. And everyone's just so joyous and so happy. And it really made me realize that as adults, we tell them that they need to grow up. And even myself, I caught myself saying it to students. So after I wrote that poem, it's just like, yo, I can't be telling kids to grow up. I really can't do that, because everybody take their time. So it was an eye-opener in terms of just also sometimes just laugh. Sometimes just laugh, just smile. You can't let life weigh you down. You can't be so burdened by it. Just take a deep breath and laugh your heart out. So that's where that piece came from. It really was an eye-opener, and it's really heartwarming, I would say. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful to write it and to read it to you guys. It's another beauty, because now I've been able to share with you where that piece came from and why that piece, and how it makes me feel. So that is it from me, and that is it for Scones, Poetry and Tea. I have more than half left. You won't watch me eating that. I'll see you for episode 2. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I want you to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed, because obviously you want to know more, you want to learn more about these pieces, you want to hear more from this book. I crap myself up. I've got issues. I'm done. Thank you so much though. Thank you oh so much for popping in, passing through, and just listening to me. If you want to order a copy of the book, I'm telling you, I'm going to put all the information below. And yeah, like, share and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. And I will see you will see me next week, this time, earlier or later, for episode 2 of Scones, Poetry and Tea.